Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I'm just going to comment on the state of the world. And my comments, my observations actually go quite a far long time ago. I would say even 15 years ago. And I must have been naive, or maybe the world just kind of changed to a point where nobody really wants to help each other anymore, right? And I think what happens with some of you is that you want to be helped, and and then you ghost me, and then I never hear from you from again. And I kind of understand that because I've done that several times to other people too, but it was mostly because I'm just inquiring about their services and I don't really need help. I'm just a little curious, and I understand that too. No shade on you, but there are a lot of people out there who need help, who really want it, and they don't ask for it. And that's because society has trained most people in a way just to drown rather than ask for help, right? And as a person who's helped many people, right, I get it, right? Because I've been where you are. If you looked at like some of my tax returns in the late 2010s, you'd be like, wow, like you were really broken poor, weren't you? And I was like, yeah, I was drowning. I mean, for 3 years, I was just like near the poverty level, and there were people who could have helped me, but they never really did. And eventually, I got out of it, right? Like I'm not like a 1%, but I own two homes, or I have two mortgages, and you know, starting this year, I had $100,000 credit card debt, and now I paid like $50,000 of it off. So if I can do that at that position, um, I don't think like my life is perfect, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing much better than when I was like um, at the poverty level for 3 years, even though I grew up in a rich neighborhood, right? How does that work? But I had this situation where I was trying to mentor someone who actually helped me find the first rental house at $100,000 discount. I trained this person. It's like, hey, this is what you do. And this person, I'm not going to go too into it. I thought everything was okay because like no ask for help, no nothing, everything looks fine. Later find out mental issues, right? And I'm not like throwing shade at the person, but it's really weird how like I'm willing to go above and beyond to help people, and most people just kind of sit there and they don't ask for it. And I know exactly why they don't, because I've been through the same thing. I can't say the exact same thing most people have gone through, but I'm going to just tell you my experiences, why it was so hard for me to ask for help. And sometimes I just realize, well, I'm not going to just wait forever till I'm dead to get the things that I want. Essentially, I have to be the change that 99% of the population is not willing to be, right? And to be honest, if you really talk to me one on one, I'll just tell you I think that we live in this morally decayed society where nobody just really cares and they chase things that are a waste of time. Um, Instead of chasing money, they should be actually looking to help other people, and that's where the money will come from. But most people see like chasing money and the people around them as two completely separate things, right? But they're not, right? Every time you pay for something, or every time someone pays you, there's a person that is linked to the act of giving you money, right? Your dollar is a vote for whatever consumer, I'm sorry, for whatever you're consuming, whether it's any sort of product or service. And so and the way that I see like making money is that this person who's giving me money is actually voting for and telling me my product or service is awesome. And that's just how I see it, right? Now I'm going to just kind of go into a quick discussion of why most people don't ask for help. So reason number one, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you. You ever like been at a position where you're just like a complete beginner at something, and people were like, "Oh yeah, we'll train you, we'll help you out," and then like, okay, and this has happened to me in many things, right? The moment that I ask for help, I'm attacked and feel like I'm inferior for asking for help. Like this has happened to me so many times that I know why most of you don't ask for help, right? And I get it, because it's like, am I really the genuine thing? And if you looked at my one student testimonial, because there's only one student in the group, she was excited about paying off, 4 of her loans in like 2 weeks, right? And freeing up the cash flow with Velocity Banking. But probably most of you, let's say, especially if you're a beginner at something, because I made a video called Society Hates Beginners, and that is true, society does hate beginners. Whenever you ask for help, because most people are at a very low level of, I don't want to say consciousness, but I can't think of any other word. They attack you, right? It's like they attack you for wanting what's best for yourself. And this is why that eventually, in order to level up, you do have to think highly of yourself. And I get to that in another video, right? But the biggest disappointment I've had to feel is to be put in a position where, hey, you have to do this, like you have to go through a training program, or you have to be a student, or you have to, we're gonna, funnel you in through this course thing, and I'm gonna help you. And then, you ask for help because you're a little confused, and then you get attacked, right? And, eventually I just came to the conclusion that most people's goal in life is to make other people feel inferior because that's how they get their high, right? And there's a word for that in what goes on in society. If you ever look at the term rankism, coined by a former college president, you can look it up, rankism, Rankism. And he talks about how, like, one of the major problems of society, is that we cut people down just because they're not in the right status or hierarchy, right? And so if you ever been in a position where you're struggling, unfortunately, the worst people who'll do you wrong is people probably either at the same level or a little bit above you, right? And it's a lot of things don't make sense. It's kind of like being in the Titanic. Most people just didn't take the warning seriously, and they didn't really help each other. And so when S hits the fan, then that's when they actually start to panic. But by that time, it's too late, right? Now, again, let me kind of emphasize this. It's the over-promising and under-delivering, which kind of is related to number one. But you ever like been through like people who were supposedly positions of being a teacher or like helping you out, and they say, yeah, I'll help you out whenever you need it, and you kind of, and then when you ask them for like actual help, they don't respond to the text messages. They don't say, hey, let me get back to you, or I'm doing something right now, but I promise I'll get back to you. Never do it, right? And I've even paid money for people who said that they were going to do this, and they never lived up to what they said they do. And I was like heartbroken, right? And that's another reason why it's really important to be able to set expectations, right? A lot of people think that paying a lot of money for something that's low value is a scam, but that's not really the scam. The scam is that you don't get what you expected when you pay for something, right? So, for example, let's say I make an app in the App Store that says, I think there's somebody did this a while back, where it just says, I'm rich and this app does nothing and it cost me $5,000. And I explicitly state in the ad that the app does nothing. Then, and somebody pays for it, they're most likely going to be happy because they know what they're paying for, because you learn how to set expectations, right? So that's not a scam. But let's say you're paying for a coaching program with it's $2,000, even like $5, and the person overpromised and under-delivered, right? It's not about the money that you spent. It's about the expectations weren't set correctly. And so again, why most people don't ask for help is, at least from my point of view, simply two reasons. You've been attacked and made to feel inferior for asking for help. And that happens to me even nowadays, right? But then, I'm in a position where like I've had the experience to know how most people kind of are, right? And I'm in a position where like I actually don't need most people's help, which is kind of pathetic, right? That you have to be in that position in order to just kind of walk through and navigate society. And the other thing is that people just simply overpromise and deliver. And in order to kind of mitigate that, this is why I always like test people for certain jobs. So if you're, let's say like I've never met you before, and you're soliciting like $100,000 to do some real estate project, I probably won't give you that unless I'm willing to lose that money, but B, I probably will test out maybe like a $5,000 or $10,000 project. And if you can't deliver on the $5,000 or $10,000 project, what would make me think that you could deliver on the $100,000 project, right? And so you got to kind of test people at lower levels, and also not be afraid to lose the money that people ask for if they say they can deliver on a product or service, which unfortunately most times that they can. But if I get to a point where I could just easily lose $100,000 and I can sleep at night, then that'll be pretty sweet. But I'm not there yet. All right, so this is Crane Atlanta Mentorship. If you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the link down below to the Google form, and then we'll get on Zoom call and talk, and we'll do an intro. And yeah, so that's it for today. Have a great day, and we will speak soon.